So what we are going to do today, we will have a mini project if we will complete it on timeline. So there will be a student class which will have student data, and there will be some student data present inside this student data class, right? So a student class will be there, and a class which will have, we can add some new student to it. Suppose we go, this is a mini kind of project. Suppose we go to a school for admission of a kid, right? So what happens, there may be some students already present in that school and some may be taking new admission, right? So similarly here we are going to do that. What will happen, some students will be already available inside our school and some we need to add on or some like this. So how already that can be present, student you need to add some new data to in a array list inside the static block. So before your main function loaded, a static block will run and this will happen in like in this way. Okay, so what is our requirement is, suppose I like write a Java program that for school, right? This is requirement first. Some students are already available in school and faculty can add some new students, or in terms of school you can say, or faculty is able to take new admissions. Faculty is able to view all students. Faculty should able should be able to fire remove students from the course or class or schools, whatever. So these are some basic requirements that we have to fulfill using array list. So we will have some students already available. So how can we do that? Just perform the static block, because static block loads before anything load in your Java program. And faculty can add some new students, and after adding all, suppose three students was already present and you are adding one, so you can now view 4 students. Faculty is able to view all the students is there, and the faculty should be able to fire remove. Fire means remove, you can remove that data from an array list. So we are going to perform this, right? So this is our requirement, and how to fulfill it, because we know that we are going to define array list for this, so that on runtime we can add new students. So array list will be adding data, what kind, what type. So student type of data array list will be able to add. And how can we manually define a student type of array list? Just pass generics here, right? So once you pass, you can say student list. So once you pass this, then you will be able to store student kind of data only. Now you will not be able to add some, like if this name is string, suppose if this name is string, then you cannot add any floating point to it, right? Suppose the course is also string. Suppose I defined course is also string. Now you cannot, these are three student id is, this is integer type, and now you cannot add any floating point number here because you have defined integer, string and string, right? Now you can only add the class type of data, right? So you can only add the class type of data in this array list. And what this array list class type is actually student what data having this, right? Integer, string and string. Okay, now if you want to add any floating point number, you cannot add it. Okay, so there will be another class, student data class, which will having the data present inside this class. Preloaded data means before loading anything, this data will be loaded so that I can view my previous students who have not enrolled this year, who have already enrolled and those are our previous students. And some we need to add, if you want some students, if you want to, then we can add. And this main class, through this main class we will be performing the task like adding students, removing student, view printing all the data of the students. So this, and this is our requirement that we have to fulfill through Java program. Okay, so now we are going to do this. Simply we have seen array list yesterday, now we are moving forward. I have started the recording, right? Okay, so here I will declare school, right? Package school, so that we can understand what we are trying to do. Now here new class, here this is a class student, and this student is simply having int student id string student. Now from this day we are following standards of variables, methods, declaration, that this should be starting from the small and the capital. Okay, string course. Now what we are going to define a constructor, just you don't need to write manually, right click source and here constructor using field. This is the parameterized constructor, and this parameterized constructor contains student role, student id, name and the course, right? Just remove this super because we have seen this already and we don't need here of this super. And this you understand, I have explained yesterday, this dot student id, this refers for this, and this local variable is assigning values to this global one. Okay, now just go to student data class, and what this student data class will contain, here we have to define student array, student type of array list which will hold the data of those students, right? So array list, what type? Student list equal to new array list student, and this is the student type of array list. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to add data inside this array list. So static, why I am defining, why I am adding data inside student class, because I have a requirement that we should already preloaded data. Before we assign any data to it, we should already have some students present in our school, right? Some students are already available, and if you want, if we log in with the system and we see the students already present, then how can we do it? Before running our main program, what runs? The static block. So once we run our program, this static block will load before the main method, right? So this static block will have some students and this will load that. Okay, but see, suppose this is the variable int I is equal I. Suppose I declare this. If I try to assign value to this I is equal to 5, will I able to do it? No, just because see, cannot make a static reference to a non-static field. So either I have to make this as static so that I can assign value to it. So if you are assigning values to a variable inside a static block, then either define that variable static or declare that inside this static block, right? So suppose you can do like this also, I is equal to 5, right? But there is a problem, this scope is remain inside this static block only, we cannot use it globally, right? So once a faculty will log in to view all the students, will not able to see the all students because this scope is on limited, right? This is not visible to whole project. This scope of the data is limited inside this block only, and this block is present inside this class only, and if we want to use this variable outside any class, we cannot use that. Same thing will happen with this array list also. That's why I am defining this as static, so that we can, once we add the data to it, we can view it, right? Okay, now one thing, suppose I defined array list like this, array list al is equal to new array list. How we add, how we were adding the data yesterday? Suppose there is a method void, because void a, right? And if you want to add data to this array list, this one, this array list, right? So how can we do it? Al dot add 101, right? Al dot add suppose 1, right? Only 2 data suppose I add. Now what happens? I can edit this data, but this data I can add in this array list. Similarly, see, this is the simple array list, right? You can add anything to it, and this is the typed array list which you have passed class type in it, right? So you have passed student type, so you can add student type of data, but this is the reference of this array list, reference variable of array list, and here you have to add class type of data, not this integer and this. These are primitive types you can say, but here you have to add objects in this array list. Why I am saying this object? Because we need to add this object, right? This student data, this class, right? So once I will add whole data of students, right? I want to add whole data of students inside this array list, right? So this, it means that I am going to add an object, but this is not an object, this is just values, right? This is single value, right? And but we have to add objects. How can we do it? Just understand it what I am trying to say. This is array list, simple array list. You can add any kind of data to it. Okay, I have defined, I am adding. How much you want to add, you can add. But here, this is the object type of array list. You can say this is a class type of array list. How to add class type data in this array list? First, simply this variable dot add you have used. Simply this is also a variable, student list. Student list dot add, right? Now what you want to add? New student, you want to add a object. So how you create objects like this, right? And how to pass values to in 101, suppose 1, then and don't see it was previous class program, right? So don't be confused with it. And core suppose Selenium, right? So this I have added object. What I have done, simply I was adding array list variable dot add, right? And whatever value I need to add, I can add this. But here you have to add object inside this array list. That's why object. Why? Because you want to add student type of data, right? You want to add student type of data. And what this student type data is, this integer, string. So you have to create a new student and pass the values inside it. If anybody has any problem in this? Okay, so suppose I want one more, student list dot add new student 102 Sumit core Java, right? So we have added. Now I will have a main method to it, which take admission, new class. I want to print this array list, right? Let me first write it. For int I is equal to 0, I less than student data dot student list dot size I plus plus, and here simply print now I'll run it. It will print the object first. It will not show you like data, but it will show you object. But before that, just comment it, or before commenting, just come here. This one is the static variable. Comment it. Static int a is equal to 5. Whatever is defined as static, so that data is loaded and that data is shared to all, right? So this static will be loaded, right? How can you access this variable? Class name dot variable name, because this is static. Normal you cannot access, normal variable you cannot access like this, right? You need to either you are using a native directly use that, otherwise you need to create object for that, and object dot value dot variable. Suppose this have int a, int b is equal to 5. Now I want to use this 5 inside my main method, right? So you can see this integer value is simple integer value variable. Now I have to make object for this class first. Object is equal to new student data. I will make object, right? Object dot, now I can access b, right? And if I will print this, you can see this out. Just first comment this. See your 5, b was declared as 5, you declared a object, right, and use that variable, right? But you have to do it because this variable was not static. But if you want to access this static variable, you can directly class name dot variable name, because this variable is static. See, dot variable name, I will print this 5, right? So b was declared as 5, because this was static, I can directly use it, class name dot variable name. If you want to access static methods, so class name dot method name, right? I will comment this, why I have told this, just see this. Same thing I was doing here. I was printing object, you can see I was printing object, I was accessing this array list variable here, and this was static, right? If this was static, then I can directly use class name dot variable name, right? And I have printed this, and this was printing successfully, right? But not as your desired way, but it was printing like this just because it was object, so it is showing you like object. So this by default writes this to string, right? It is converting your data into your string format, right? By default internally, if you are printing an object, so by default it is converting into string, right? So you have to override that string method. So because you are printing student data, just go source, and here you need to override this to string, source generate and to string, right? So you don't need to write it manually, it already do it. Java is so much powerful, Eclipse IDE powerful. Just now run it. Now see, this is printing your whole data. See how much, just forget it, let's see how much time this loop is running, how much time this loop is running. Suppose, right? Class name dot variable name dot size, how much data present in this array list, 2, right? So this loop will run 2 times, so output should be 2. Output 2, see, output 2, but this is printing double times. Student, inside student, you see this is the object, student object, right? Inside this student object, it is printing student 1 and student 2, Vandan and Sumit both, right? Second time, because loop is running 2 times, it again printing, but you want that data should be printed only once, so you have to pass here get I. I will run it now, see what happens. Let me comment this. Now see, data is printing in a proper manner. What it does, suppose I pass here 0, and what will happen, it will printing Vandan data 2 times, Vandan data 2 times, because loop is running 2 times. What happens if you don't use it? If you don't use it, what's happening? This is printing this variable, right? You are accessing this variable is a static, class name dot variable name, right? So simply that you are doing with this primitive type, right? Simply you have done with this also, this class type variable, class name dot variable name, right? It's printing this whole variable, and what this variable contains, this variable contains this whole data. So if this whole data was printed, let me run it, because loop is running 2 times, so this whole data, this whole variable was printed, right? You have printed this variable, right? And what this variable contains? This variable contains objects, right? So this is printing this data. First time full data was printed, right? First time full data Vandan and Sumit was printed. Loop runs second time, and second time full data one printed. Now you say no, we have not to do like this. First time 0th index data should be printed, and second time second index data should be printed. That 0th and first index data should be printed, right? So here you have to access this value from this variable. So dot get I, you have to perform it, right? So in from this variable it will access second index data. Similarly same thing you will do in this arrays, right? Suppose I have defined a int roll is equal to new int, and if you wanted to access 0th index data, what you are doing, roll 0 is equal roll 0, right? So you are accessing like this. If you want to print it, if you want to print first index data, so how we are doing sys out, suppose this system dot out, you are printing like 1, right? So this way you are doing it. Same thing I am doing it with the array list. What I am trying, from this array list I am trying to get this 0th index data, right? And then second time first index data. That's why our loop initial value is 0, and after that I value will plus plus, then it will be 1. So I am trying to access get I, right? See, first time Vandan data was printed, second time Sumit data was printed. Till here anybody has any doubt? Sanjeev, Bilal, Khaja. Okay, yeah, I am listening. Student data class. Actually, go to a requirement. Let me first run this program. Okay, the requirement is your data should be, some students should be already present, right? So just because our requirement is some already present, so this static block will load before anything loads in your program, right? Before your main program, if you run from here, so before running your main method, it will run this static block, it will load this static block. And what this static block have is, this static block have students data, so this will be loaded. You can use this inside this static block also, right? So it will print first student, some students data to it, right? Just use this now. Not printed. Okay, just because we are in static block already, why we are using this, right? So just print student. I think this should work. Okay, this program will run from here. Okay, maybe this is not working here. I will show you why it's not working here, but first understand the basic concept. I will show you why this is not working later on. First understand this, because there are some concept needed to be explained related to static blocks limitation. So before anything, this static block will be loaded and you are printing this here. Okay, so anybody has any questions related to till here, till now? From this here. Okay, use run from for each. You have to pass student. Try to do this, right? Just because this is student type, and what this array list I need to define first, because you can see this array. If you want to pass here, you have to define array list here as well. Array list globally, and this student, just import this package, student list equal to new student list, new array list. Okay, that's not okay. This array list is empty, right? So what we have to do, we have to either the extend of this class, just leave this first, but because we can do this here, we can use this for each loop here as well, but we have to perform inheritance. We have to extend this so that this array list is null now for this class, right? So because this is considering as a new array list here, right? So here this is loaded already, so we were using class name dot, so data was present inside a static block, but this is considering as a new array list, so this is not possible inside this class. So we have to define this manually. I will tell you how to do it, but let's leave it first, otherwise need time to explain. Here if you want to print like suppose you want to like same way you are using here, problem is this, problem is like, let me see, show you. Let's try to do it. Let's see the problem, where the problem is with the using for each loop here. Here you have uses the class name dot variable name. This variable was static. Let's try to read. Actually, what is the limitation with for each loop? You have to define a type here, right? Whatever variable you are using, student dot, let's try to access that variable, not able to access, right? Student data dot student list. Now here if I try to access student as student data, right? Student data as okay, this is out. Let's just remove this so that printed, but you can see data is printed. What I have done, same variable whatever I have passed here, I have used here also. This data, this variable I have assigned to it. What you have to do is with the for each loop, suppose you have to print a class type, when similarly string class is there and string have some values, as you have to pass any string variable, right, which contains the data. Suppose string array name equal to new string 5 here. This, suppose this array, if you want to assign, just assign this here, right. Now if you traverse this s, but you have to assign some values to it. Let me do it so that we will find the differences here. Name 1 equal to Sumit, rest of the values will be null. Suppose I run it, see, first value is Vandan and second last three values I have not assigned, that's why by default they are null. What happened, just this array was same thing with array list, just understand for concept purpose. This was a just type of class, right? String is a class, so this is just an object. So I said that if you want to traverse with objects, so use for each loop. So this was just like an object, that's what we are using the array for each loop, right? So what this object type was string, so I have defined a string class, and here s is a variable to this string class, and variable that stores the data you should define here. So I have defined this name variable here, and I have this name variable will give value one by one to this s. So this is printing first time Sumit, second time first time Vandan, second time Sumit. All the three places, other three places are null, so it's printing null. Same thing I have done with the for each loop. What I have done, what, suppose we don't know the super type of the data. Suppose if I define student data here, right, see the error, change the type of s to student, change type of s to student. Why cannot convert element type student to student data? What it means, it means that if you, just like I have explained yesterday, if you don't know your return type, right, what the return type of your student is, so you can use here object, right. Just first comment it, you don't know the return type, or if you are confused of your return type, just use object, it will print, because object is a super class for all classes. Here we are confused what type of return type we should use, right. Suppose there is a student data class, there is a student class, right. So what type I should return, either I can use object class here. Let's print it. See, this data is, let me comment this, or we don't need to comment, just comment this system.out. When I will run this, see, this object type understand every kind of data. Here if you, I was trying to print student data, I could do it. Why I can student data, so actually student data, student kind of array list is present in this class, student data class, right. Student data class, and student data class does not know how to print the data of the student. This knows this student class, this is overriding this toString method. This is well known of this definition of this array type, array list type, right. So that's why it's asking that just provide where I need to put out the data. So that's why I pass s here, right. if you don't know whether you to use the student or student data, sometimes this is very beginning to explain these things. Run as object, just define our object class, right, and this will print for whole. So we can use this, but there are a lot of things that we need to do one by one. So student, right, one more thing here, the this variable was static, right? So static variable, suppose sometimes we don't have memory in this static variable, so what we do, so sometimes we will get confused in it. Data not available, then null pointer exception will be there. This is a big problem with the static blocks, right? So if data is not there, or less data, data is not there, and we are trying to print it, then we will facing null pointer exception, because we are printing this, right? We are printing this, and we assume that data is already present. So this so when you are sure what return type you need to use, and you are working with the objects, then use the for each loop. We can do this anytime. Where you can use the for loop, we can use the for each loop, but for each loop mainly for the objects. I don't know why people left today. Either they are expecting recordings, or they are not able to understand the concepts, because we are of the top level of the Java. So okay, so everybody, another shoe. Yeah, if you don't know the return type, so every object is the father of all the classes, right? So object can absorb any kind of return type, either a string, either any kind of class type. So object is, so if you are not sure, just use that, but every time don't use that, so that if someone is coming to debug your program, he may be able to understand what kind of return type you are expecting here, right? So if you every time will return, so this will be problem for the other developers. Okay, so do you guys know why people left today? Okay, maybe this is the today's topic completed. Who said I have? No, no, no. It was not completed. I have not said this, but it's okay for me. They have already paid to me. And no worries for me. But okay. But if we are the reason of asking is that if you are leaving the class just